Ladies and gentlemen, in this RedGamingTech.com video, I'm going to be telling you all the best deals on the Steam Autumn Sale for the 22nd of November 2012. So, there's actually some pretty good deals on this time round. The first one being Max Payne 3. I actually really enjoyed this one when I was playing it for RGT, and for the price, £7.49, that's 75% off. It's a good deal. I mentioned before in my first impressions look that I really enjoyed not only the voice acting and, of course, the Rockstar magic with the scripting and so on, but I was also quite a fan of the storyline and the overall look and feel of the game. Some were concerned because it'd been a while since Rockstar had put out a Max Payne title, that the new one might not be quite as good as what they'd hoped. However, I'm pleased to report that that's actually not the case, and it's a really good title, and definitely worth it for the price of admission. It's actually a pretty damn good price considering it was only released in June. You can also pick up the entire collection if you so desire, as well as individual pieces of DLC. The entire Max Payne 3 collection, however, will cost you £20. However, if you do already own the game, now would be the perfect time to pick up the DLC. However, in my opinion at least, it's worth checking out if only for the basic storyline, and you might not want to go for the rest of it. Hey, that's your deal. Next one. Another one of my more preferred games of this year, Sleeping Dogs. It's only 50% off, I say only, which brings it to £15. This is one of those titles that it really has to seem running to be believed, particularly on the highest settings. The game does look fairly beautiful, and considering that it was only released in August, it actually still gets quite regular updates as far as I'm aware as well. There's also some nice high resolution texture packs that were put out, and it does help to make the game look a lot better. And there is a shit ton of DLC available as well, actually. That's all discounted as far as I'm aware, and you can also buy the official strategy guide should you so desire, though I don't think many people actually bother with these things now. In honesty, I think it's one of the better games that Square has actually produced in recent times, and although you can almost just say, hey, you know what, it's just Grand Theft Auto set in, Asia. And you could say that, but in my opinion, it would be unfair to the game and not doing it the justice it so deserves. It's pretty good. There is a more moral choice system, although I personally believe it could have been implemented slightly better. It does work quite well, and to the most part, I really enjoyed it. It does have a few little quirks here and there, but you know what? For the price, it's pretty good. Whether you're going to be seeing this one a little bit more cheap, or cheaper, shall I say, on Christmas, it's hard to say. Hey, you know what? You could keep waiting forever. That's one way to look at it. 50% off. Once again, $14.99, a really good game if you are into your crime type of games, or you're into crime drama, or you just want something a bit different. It's highly storyline intensive, of course. However, you are allowed to just decide, you know what, I actually want to just go off on the beaten path and just, rocket launch something. That's totally up to you. Next one, Portal 2. Just like Terraria and many other games on the Steam sales, this one's a regular, and of course Valve games are usually heavily discounted, and this is no exception. You're looking at 75% off, or £3.74. It was not exactly a particularly expensive game to begin with. However, for this price, it could well be worth the price of admission. I know very little people actually who actually don't really like the Portal titles. You can also pick up 2-pack should you so desire, which would be £6.24. Oh, by the way, you can also pick up the first bundle and Portal 1 and Portal 2 for £4.49. That actually brings the first Portal to be pretty much free, actually. And you can also buy the Valve Complete Pack for, £25. That's 50% off. And you could also buy the Final Hours, which is basically a digital book and other bits and pieces. Could be cool if you're interested in the principles of game design. I don't really think I need to explain too much on Portal. If you're into puzzle type of titles and so on, you're probably going to want to pick this one up. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's maybe not the best game that you're ever going to play in your entire life, but it's reasonable, and I really enjoyed it. But there you have it. Next title, Arma. Arma is available 50% off. You look at £12.49. I don't know huge amounts about this one, if I'm particularly honest with you, but generally speaking, it scores fairly reasonably. Graphics look decent. Whether you want to go ahead and purchase this one, it's up to you. You can get pretty much everything, combined operations, which basically combines both armors, or you can just get the individual versions if you so wish. As I said, on most reviews, it gets okay scores, certainly in the high kind of levels. It's pretty good graphically, not the best you're going to see. It's a little bit older now than what you might want. As I said, it's not ugly or anything like that, but personally, when titles like this are available on Steam, I always think to myself, you know what, there's a lot of new titles out there, and while Arma is not particularly awful, there are obviously reasons to purchase it, including the DayZ mod. But of course, DayZ is being released by itself anyway, so there's probably less reasons to pick this one up. Whether you're going to want it is up to you. I'll leave it in your more than capable hands. Next up, Awesomenaughts. This is another one of those titles actually that I didn't play, although I really wanted to. It looks really cool. If I remember correctly, actually, Amata actually covered this one on RGT. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure she did. Anyway, regardless, it's usually scores pretty well in most people. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know that I haven't played every one of these games. I have played the majority. Is usually what happens, but I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I've played something when I haven't. However, from what I've seen, this does look pretty cool. And it's one of those titles that really remind me of the old style gaming, the 16-bit, although obviously a little bit high resolution. I have a feeling for the price alone, which is 66% off, which brings it to £2.37, you could want to pick this one up. Also, by the way, you can actually pick up a free pack of this for £4.75. That could actually be a really good deal if you're looking to purchase, say, a Christmas pack for someone. Could well be worth it. You can also pick up the soundtracks as well, and a few other bits and pieces. Whether you want to pick up all the, costume party and all of that other crap, that's up to you. Personally, I would recommend just the basic game, but hey, there you have it. I tend not to pick up too much DLC unless I really like the game. That's just my personal preference, of course. Next up, and the last, I believe, on the list for today, is Prototype. Prototype 2, actually, to be more precise. 50% off, which brings it to £10. Or you can also pick up the Radna Access Pack, which is basically DLC, which will cost you £3.49. That's, once again, 50% off. So, Prototype 2 is one of those titles that it's not awful, but it's not particularly amazing either, is what it comes down to. When Prototype 1 was released back in the day, I quite liked it, but there was a little problem for me, and that was Infamous 2. Infamous 1 and 2 were out. And Infamous 2 was released later, but you get the idea. And basically, I never really got into Prototype as much as I did Infamous. I really liked Infamous because of the comic book stylings. I just thought it was really cool. Prototype was awesome, and I quite enjoyed it, the part I did play, but I just found myself not got too far into it, because Infamous was out, and there was tons of other games at the time, so it just got put on the back burner. However, I did respect the game, I did think it was quite cool. However, Prototype 2 is not as cool. It basically is a walking cliche of a game. In terms of the graphics, it's just not as good as it could be, or indeed should be, more to the point, for PC. It looks basically simply upscaled, and not in a good way, not amazingly so. And to be honest with you, even on max settings, it looks decidedly average, which isn't really good considering who actually created this. You'd expect someone like Activision, who are of course the publisher, and Radical Entertainment, who developed it, to do a lot better. The storyline had me bored very quickly, and though I did get a little bit further than what I did in the first impressions review that I actually have on RGT, I found myself just losing interest to continue. And that's pretty much the same thing that several other people have told me also. So whether you're going to want to get this one, I'll leave up to you. If you're a big fan of the first one, could be worth it. If not, then you'll probably want to going to leave this one alone. There are a few other offers that are on currently. I'll go through them. You've got Rage, although they've only got about an hour left as I put this video out. Very good game actually, I quite like it. Sorry guys for the intermittent swigging of water. Some people didn't actually like Rage. They, I don't know, felt like id Software betrayed them or something. I quite liked it. I think it could have been executed better, particularly on the launch, but hey, you know what? These things happen. Train Simulator, haven't touched it, have no interest in touching it. However, it's available on 66% off. Whether that's going to be enough to lure you, hey. Dead Island, it's only got about an hour left as well. 66% off, £6.79. One of my friends who has put out actually some videos on RGT, Spoonie Kipper, really likes this game. I personally thought it was okay. It looks very pretty, I will say. But I couldn't bring myself to really like it. The trailers were incredible, but it was just a bit disappointing. Next up, Company of Heroes, not at all disappointing, although there's a second one coming out. It's pretty old now, but for £1.74, it's one of the more widely regarded RTS titles. Could definitely be worth checking out. As I've said, it's not the best game that you're ever going to play, but it's pretty decent. Garry's Mod, I don't think, needs any introduction. I think everyone and their mother knows what Garry's Mod is by now. If not, I would suggest doing a quick Google because it's pretty hard to explain, but it basically allows you to do some very, very, very cool things using the Source engine. Next up, actually, is Orcs and Men. 50% off. Some people didn't like this game too much. Other people thought it was pretty great. I quite liked it in that you're actually playing as an orc, which is, well, interesting. You're playing as orcs and goblins, and it's a pretty cool game. It has its faults in combat, particularly. I tell you one of them, and that is the targeting. Unless they've fixed it since last I saw, the ability to target something that's not in your line of sight, and indeed then your character starts to run towards it, and then you get in trouble, and you basically bring a small army down upon you, and then you swear a lot, and then you reload, and then you accidentally do the same thing again, because, you know, you were clicking on something, you didn't realise that you clicked too many times, or something similar. It's a shame, because quite honestly it's a good game. It is a good game. It just has those issues. You might be able to get used to it, and you might be able to, get around it. I personally couldn't, which is a really big shame, as I quite liked the premise of it, and I quite liked the characters and everything else. I had a feeling it could be a really good storyline. As I've said, it's 50% off, $14.99. It could be worth it. If you so wish, I would recommend checking it out. However, I would personally wait, and I would pay, I don't know, £10 for it. That kind of price would be a pretty awesome price for this title. Other than that, I'm not 100% sure that I'd pay the asking price of $15 simply because of that annoyance. It was just a little bit too much for me to bear. That's obviously a personal preference. So anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll no doubt see you guys tomorrow. I was planning to do some other cool stuff today, but I came home late from work, as well as a few other issues. Basically, I've got a new microphone and a few other bits and pieces, and it wasn't really playing ball with me when I was trying to install it, of course, because it just decided, hey, you know what, I actually don't want to work with your USB hub, so it became a whole thing. I'm not going to bore you with the details, even though I have already partially. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video, and at least figured out if you want any deals. And the last day of the Steam deals, which If I'm not going crazy, I believe it's the 27th, is what I said earlier. You can tell I'm tired. I will be placing out a video which is going to be going through, the 26th. I will be going through all the really good deals that aren't, today's deals, so you guys can snap them up if, possible, such as the developments packs and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, yesterday's deals are still on. They are going to be for the next, 20 hours and 48 minutes for me right now. So anyway, hopefully you guys have found the video helpful, and I will no doubt see you guys around soon. Bye for now.